Today's episode is sponsored by Sandals Resorts and Brightco Insurance. What's up, Chillas? Today we're with Akeshi Akinseye. She is the founder and CEO of Kesh Events. She has been named one of America's best wedding planners by Brides Magazine, along with a slew of other accolades. Lily, we could do a whole episode on all of your achievements. And you're also an author. Your brand new book is out called The Art of Celebrating. Akeshi, welcome to Bridechilla. And can I just say how stunning you are? Like, you are so beautiful in your photos, but like seeing you here, like you are stunning.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm so excited to be here, by the way. Love the podcast, love everything you're doing, love your conversations. And I've been like dying for my turn. So I'm excited to be
Aw.
here and connect with your audience and just chit chat with you.
Oh, thanks so much. That means a lot to me coming from you. Like, honestly, that's huge. So I want to talk about your new book to kick things off, The Art of Celebrating. The book looks stunning. I can't wait to finish deep diving into it. Tell us about what inspired you to do this book, because it's not your first one.
It's not my first. So this is my third book. I launched my first book I wrote in 2016, and it was just kind of like a combination of like inspiration photos from past events. And then I started thinking a little bit more intentional about how I want to serve and like share more, right? Because there's only so much we can do at events and so much to share on Instagram, on our blogs. We have so much to share in inspiration, right? So Festive Tables was back in 2020, and that was inspiration for tablescapes throughout the year. But my mind has always been on like a very heartfelt, holistic book that covers everything, right? Sometimes we have books on food and drinks and tablescapes, but then it's like, what about the entire picture? So this was really just taking it back to my roots, how it all started, which is when I was a kid in Nigeria. I grew up in Nigeria, how we were raised by my mom, who was the ultimate hostess, and kind of going back to the roots of celebrating, because it is an art. It's not something that you just do. And there are ways to do that. So we cover like finding inspiration to invitations and food and drinks and mocktails and having a very inclusive menu and table styling and music, entertainment, everything you should think about when you are planning a celebration, because it is an art, like I said, and it's not something you just up and like, oh, I want to plan a party. Like there's an art to it. So that's what that book is. And I really wanted to honor to my roots growing up in Nigeria. There's a chapter on like my favorite childhood Nigerian bites and the things I still cook to today. And I kind of brought that into the book and some global flavors. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's been a labor of love.
Yeah, it sounds like, I love this because when it comes to weddings and events, both, which I've preached on the show before, like everything you're going to take from this with planning your wedding, you're going to apply a lot of it in other aspects of your life, whether it be the interpersonal relationship aspect of it. Obviously, we talk about dealing with, parents and your significant other, et cetera. But also in planning the wedding with the decor and the details, you are going to use that with birthday parties and anniversaries and
Absolutely.
other showers and stuff, right? But it's so stressful at times for everyone. But hearing the joy in you talking about the details, because oftentimes it could be like the devil in the details, right? Like, oh, this is a pain in the ass. I have to worry about this. But the way you talk so joyfully about all the different fun things about it, I hope it inspires everyone listening to like get that kind of energy in going into this. Like, it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to drain your bank account. It can be fun and exciting and personal.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. That makes me so happy. I obviously like we do this for a living for weddings, but I think again, weddings are for most people we praise a one-time thing. But then, if COVID taught us anything, it was like people are looking for a place for true connection and meaning. And the truth is, we have to create those moments of connection and joy, right? And it does not have to be a wedding. That is my number one like statement. Like you can create a beautiful space that feels well thought of, meaningful, but it's a place where people forget about their troubles or whatever's happening. and just connect. Like, when you have a really good dinner, and that feeling when you go home, that's what we want. I want people to really do. And when to start thinking about whether it's your girlfriends or dinner, doesn't even have to be a special occasion. It's like make celebration an art every day, like make it an art form that you practice every single day, no matter if it's big or small. Because I think people save all the good stuff for the weddings. And I'm like, what about life? Like,
Right.
you're going to live many, many years after your wedding. So why not start doing that now? So it's really about meaning and intention. Of course, the pretty is always a nice touch, but like it's first and foremost connection, a place where people feel safe and happy is, the ground.
So, two things based off of what you just said. One of it is I love that you said don't save the good stuff just for the wedding, because it's like when you get gifted, like back in the day, it's not as common anymore, but back in the day with weddings in specific, when people did their registries, they picked out their china. And that was like their fine china that they brought out for like that special occasion. But
Yeah.
you came to find that people rarely brought out the china because they were so afraid to use it, or that special occasion, it didn't happen. But it's like every day is a special occasion. Like you don't know what's going to happen, right? So I'm glad you brought that up because you need to use it, right?
Use all the good stuff.
And that goes for everything in your life, right? Don't save the lingerie. Don't save the bottle of champagne. Like today is the day. Like go use it. Like you earned it by making it this far and doing what you're doing and being you. Like go use the good stuff. You deserve it. But the other thing that you said that I think is a really good point. You were talking about like when it comes to not just weddings, but like having dinner with your girlfriends or like whatever, music and food always bring people together. It's like that whole breaking bread, right?
Yeah.
So it's just another part of that celebration and just considering. And what do we always talk about with weddings? What do people always say in weddings events? The two of the things they remember the most is the food and the music, the entertainment.
Yeah. And the music for sure.
How does your philosophy help couples ground their celebrations in meaning rather than just the whole aesthetics?
Yeah, I think again, sometimes people lose focus of why you're celebrating, right? And it's something we do as planners. So like when we get carried away by all these shiny things and these trends, it's like bring it back to why are you, because you can go to court, right? You can go to a courthouse and get
Right.
married. Why are you choosing to celebrate? It's about spending time with the people that you love, that matter to you, and celebrating your individual and your journey, individual as a couple. And when people get lost in all of that, I'm like, let's bring it back to why are we doing this in the first place? Why are you spending all this money, and why are you waiting a year to have a party? So I think in the end is like going back to the why and then telling a story, like creating that vibe and really tapping into two people as a couple. Forget about trends, forget about Pinterest, forget about Instagram. That's all pretty. But again, it
Yeah.
has to be about, and that's what excites me as a planner is like, I want to tell your story, not the story that you just saw on Instagram. Like, that's beautiful, but I want to tell your story, your vibe, your history as a couple, your likes, your dislikes, right? So I think again, going back to your why and the core of the celebration, otherwise it's just a party, right? We're just throwing a big old party.
It's the truth. And you actually just set my next question perfectly because you can go to a pretty event. You've seen a lot of pretty weddings, but how do you know the difference when you're creating it for yourself? Like what just makes a pretty wedding versus a meaningful one?
Yeah, storytelling. That's it. It's like, what stories are we telling? So like to tell my mic, what story am I telling here? Like if it's a wedding, I can plan a wedding, but I want to tell your story. So let's go deep. And I asked all these questions and they're like, oh, you know where I'm like, I want to know more about you because I want to I can't create a event without knowing more about you individually and as a couple. So I want to know more about your family, your history, culture, what matters to you. And that's what keeps it exciting for us. Otherwise, we'll be bored out of our minds if I'm just doing the same cookie cutter weddings every day. Because I'm like, I just did that. But what makes it exciting 13 plus years later is like no wedding is the same because we're telling different stories.
Do you do like a whole checklist with your couples? Like, how do you do that discovery period with them?
It's all just conversation, right? I talk to you like I just met you, and like I talk to my girlfriends. Like I want to have that because that's when they're comfortable, they share. And if someone has a checklist, fine. But I think in the end, I just want to talk to you, like talk to me, tell me more. It's like our first date. Tell me about you. How did you guys meet? And I always ask a question. I'm like, if your friends were to say like, one thing we know they're going to have at this wedding, like what would it be? And they're like, oh,
Oh,
they know us for like music, or we're the go-to party people. I'm like, noted. So music is a big deal.
yeah.
Experience is a big deal. Some people it's travel, and we want to bring that back. It's like, where did you guys get engaged? If it was in a specific location, like, why did you choose that? What did you love? What did you eat? Because we want to tie that back into the wedding. So there's some sort of meaning, no matter how small. So it's important to really, really personalize and really, really spend time telling stories that matter. Otherwise, again, it's just a big old party.
You're going to create your ambiance. So what should couples focus on first when doing that? Because it's an overwhelming process for couples, especially your first time
Yeah.
planning any kind of event, let alone one of this scale, right? So how do you start with ambiance?
I always start with first impression.
Mm.
Like, what is the first? So, what sets the tone? Obviously, it starts with the invitation and all the little sprinkles of hints that we send, from the invites, the colors, the location. But when I get out of my car, and I step into that space, what's that vibe? And that's a big deal, whether you're hosting at home truly or a party. It's like those first few minutes matter, and it sets the tone for what's to come. So like I always have a moment where it's like, ooh, whether it's at home, you want to definitely welcome your guest with a drink and grab their coat. In a wedding, it's like think of little things like a coat check, parking. Um, what are they walking on? What are they hearing? All those sensory, thinking about the five senses as they walk in. That carries into the next thing, which is like the ceremony, right? So little things, little hints and guests are like, ooh, I'm like, yes, we did that. Or whether you take something simple like a violinist, but it's where we position them or what they're wearing or the drama around that. And then ambience obviously makes a difference. So we're always thinking five senses, but always making a good impression in different places and telling different stories. And for people that are very even budget conscious, I'm like, choose key things, right?
Mm.
So if you can't afford a lavish wedding all over, think of a grand entrance, think of a statement piece or something that really surprise and delight, maybe as guests are coming into the reception and there's like music and entertainment, and we have like maybe violinists on the dance floor. Those moments they remember, right? I think sometimes we try to stretch out the budget, so there's no statement pieces. So when in doubt, just choose a few statement pieces here and there, and then they remember that. It could be one piece at cocktail hour. Maybe you don't have five stations, but you have one great station. They remember
Yeah.
that, right? Or like a coffee station, something you're like, oh, that was nice. So it's the meaningful touches, no matter how small, that really carry along.
I'm really glad you said that because I want everyone to know no matter what your budget is, there is a way to still have a baller, luxurious feeling wedding. Like you
Agree.
don't feel pressure if you don't have $1 million or even $50,000. If you have 5 to 15, there's still a way to have a really fun, intimate time with your loved ones.
Agreed. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
meaningful. Like there has to be some meaningful things and thoughtful details that you sprinkle throughout. And obviously, having a smaller guest count that fits your budget is always ideal. But like you want, and then obviously, like if you don't have a large budget, having an overly themed wedding or
Mhm.
cookie cutter things are just like, it doesn't make sense, right? It's like, why are we doing all these things? Let's take that money and do one thing that really is going to hit. And that's going to make an impact in a bunch of silly things that are like, oh, it was trending on TikTok or am I cute? But like, how does that fit into your story? And it doesn't work.
Yeah. You actually
Hmm.
probably end up saving money that way
Yeah.
too. Or the money that you do spend doesn't feel like a waste, right?
And saving us from a necessary headache. Because I'm like, why do we have this here?
Less things to resell later.
Right.
Something you said, I need your personal and professional opinion on this. You're talking about like wowing the guests and sprinkling things in. And all I can think about is, I've brought this up on the show before. Most people agree with me, but I've had a few people be like, I don't agree with you on this, but I think they just like to blab about their ideas anyways. But I think the couple planning should not tell anyone anything outside of their planner. Like maybe if you have a parent or something involved in something or paying for something, but if you start telling your wedding party everything outside of what they need to know, and you start telling your aunt or your cousin or whatever, it's going to get around, and then people are going to, one, give you all their opinions that
Right.
are not necessary and going to block your vision. And
Mhm.
two, they're not going to be as wowed when they show up. It's going to be like, Oh yeah, that's what the cake looks like. That's
We
what I
knew
kind of
that was
pictured.
coming. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so do you agree with me? Like,
I agree. I like save the good stuff for like that's the whole it's like surprise and delight. So like don't say anything. But I also understand how we can present this really beautiful deck and they're like, oh my God, I love it. But they have to share with someone, right?
yeah.
But you can tell when they come back, like, I have a question. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, who did you talk to? I'm like, we were on track. And then they maybe give a very idea, like an idea that doesn't fit. And I'm like, I have to lay this on so softly, like, yeah, cute, but no, like it does not, like we have a perfect plan. Do not mess it up. So sometimes I'm like, be careful who you share with, but I understand like they're so excited and they're like,
Yeah.
because I can tell when a deck has been viewed by so many people and I'm like, hey, what's
Mm.
going on? Right. But like it's out of excitement. And when they come back, first they loved it. And then they come back with like, oh, we're thinking, I'm like, who's we? And no, because I'm like, that doesn't work. And people just naturally share their opinions. But I'm like, if you can hold it, just save the good stuff for like later.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And actually, I have a personal example. I don't think I've ever shared in the show. I was a bridesmaid early in the 2000s, my friend Sarah and Jeff's wedding. Shout out to Sarah and Jeff. And as a bridesmaid, like I knew some of the things going on, right? Like I knew the colors and I knew it was going to be at this golf course for the reception. But we didn't even know that like when you walked in, we were going to be greeted with champagne with a strawberry on it. No idea that we were going to be surprised with the Cleveland Cavaliers basketball scream team out on the dance floor to dance with us. Like that was even a surprise for the wedding party. Did not know there was going to be fireworks at the end of the night. Like it was all surprises even for us that were involved in it. And
Yeah.
so that's why too, like it's those little elements, like you said, that like can wow everybody, including the people that are in the wedding.
They should be just as wild as your guests, right? Like you can tell them like, oh, we have something planned, but like you just have to wait to the wedding. Cause like as a bridesmaid, I would want, not that I don't remember last time I was a bridesmaid, but I think that was like 15 years ago. But like, I'm like, I want to be surprised too. Like, but then again, if you share all these things and it doesn't happen, whether it's budgetary or for whatever reason, then you create this sense of disappointment. So just hold off and just let let everybody enjoy the surprises, which is our favorite thing.
Yeah. So back to senses, because I think
Yeah.
senses is really important. And I'm really glad that you're bringing this up. I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, was it like 10 years ago that it started trending, especially like in hotel ballroom weddings, where people started having signature scents and they'd pump scents into their wedding and events? I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but like to me, that was like a new level of sensory that hadn't really been
Yeah.
in the game.
I think was it 10 years ago? I think we've gone through different phases of this, right? The one you see more often is like just custom perfume and custom scent. And I think there's a place and time for it. Maybe not the table, because
Yeah.
it's a battle of the senses at that point. So it's like there's a nice way to infuse those things. I think having a signature scent for your wedding is fantastic, but maybe that's included in a welcome kit, or guests are able to maybe do it as an interactive, immersive experience during cocktails or an after party or brunch. They're able to maybe curate their own scent as an experience. Right. So you can create those that way. I think that the professionals should be left with the sensory side in terms of like smell, because, sometimes it could backfire. Like
Yeah.
scented candles, absolutely not. At a table, like 10 guests, 10 different cologne, perfume, food, it's sometimes it's too much. So there's a place and time.
And people's allergies.
Allergies, like who wants to smell that for 5 hours, right? So I think like the bathroom and having a signature scent for the men and the ladies, or the unisex, whatever, however it's set up. Or if you have like
Yeah.
portable luxury bathrooms, making sure there's like when you walk in, you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in a hotel lobby or something, right? Or a fragrance in the bag. It doesn't have to be a fragrance, but there's maybe lavender or something. So I think there are ways to infuse scent without overdoing that. But I think let the food do its thing. Like it smell of like espresso martini to me is just so heavenly, because it's like coffee, but then
Yes.
liquor. And then the smell of like a really good salad, but maybe has a flower garnish, an edible flower, or the smell of a good cocktail with like lime or lemon, right? So there are so many ways to do that without overpowering. And you have to consult with the professionals on this, and I would collaborate
Yeah.
with a mixologist or a caterer, making sure like all these senses are there. But then sometimes it's not only smell, it's for me, it's touch. I touch everything. I love the feel of beautiful napkins, beautiful. Like I'm the person that would like kind of like caress the table linen because I'm like, oh, this feels so good. Or like the cushion or the pillow I'm sitting is so nice, right? Those things matter. So texture, layered textures. Sometimes you can get texture by just looking at something, right? Flowers, how it's layered. You can feel the richness of that flower. So I think when we say sensory, people go straight to fragrance. And I'm like, great, but like other things too. You know,
Yeah.
the feel of like velvet or a ribbon, all those things matter. So it's all layered, layered textures, and of course, candlelight. Ambient is the sexiest of all. And I'm like, if you do anything for me, please have candles because you can never go wrong with candles.
Do you think lighting is like the one of the most overlooked, besides logistics, that lighting is most overlooked?
I think lighting is skill, right? People sometimes because you're copying something, but you haven't factored in the scale of that room. So I look at the height, the width, what room am I working with, and that's why you have to be careful with copy and paste. You're copying a centerpiece from a very different location, or maybe even completely different style, and I'm like, this doesn't work here. Like it just doesn't fit, and it's too tall, it's too low for this room. So scale is important, but lighting you can have the most beautiful flowers, beautiful tables, beautiful linen, beautiful chairs, horrible lighting, or no lighting at all, and that alters the experience. I love when like mood changes, the lighting is changing with the intensity of the day. You know, First
Yeah.
Dance has its own mood, and with the right professionals, it's like it's an experience, and it should happen without you really noticing. Like, oh, the light just changed, but you're just like, I don't know what just happened. Like the mood, like it's working with the music, the food, the ambience, the candles and the lighting. So I think lighting is, if anything, spend money on lighting, good food and good music, and a good planner and a
And
designer.
a good planner.
Everything.
So, back to the art of celebrating and the art of hosting. There's more than just the wedding, right? You have showers and bachelorette hen parties. You have engagement parties. You have post-wedding brunches. So how can we elevate all these other parties that we're hosting?
Yeah, for sure. It's if you can figure out how do I want people to feel at this event, right? So if I say my welcome party, what's the vibe here? What's the feeling? A shower, same thing, right? Forget about the theme and all of that. It's the feeling, right? I think people get really honed in on theme and forget about, okay, how do I want people to feel? Like when we walk
Yeah.
in and what feeling do I want them to leave with? Whether it's relaxation, zen, excited from brunch or excursions, whatever that is, it's the feeling like energized, relaxed. So choose that. Even if you host a party at home, it's like, okay, what's the vibe here? Is it more cocktail style, very chic? Or is it more sit down conversational, right? You have to choose what that is. And when you have the opportunity to do multi days, it's a great way to create different experiences for your guests where they're like, that was just like everything I needed or everything I didn't know I needed. Cause now I was so like people party and have after parties and then they have another party in the morning. It's like, are you trying to take out your gas? Like, so figure out what that transition is and like sending them off with like a full heart, right? More heartfelt, less trends and like themed. I think themes could be overdone sometimes and then it doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, we're here in white. Now what? We're
Right.
not white. Then what? So it's just about meaning, feeling, connection. Everything else will plug in.
Oh, I love that. I think that's the quote right there. So, you want to stay authentic, but maybe you are a trendy person or you see trends that you really love or resonate with. How do you find that balance of keeping yourself authentic, but also like you're hip and want to like do this trendy thing?
Yeah. I mean, it was like the trends are for who? Like who are you piling up these trends that you don't even care about for? If it doesn't fit into your aesthetic or your personality or your storytelling, scratch it. Like there was no jail where if like, oh, you didn't have a espresso martini bar. Oh my gosh, how dare you? Right. do whatever works for you. It's a curated experience, which means it's something that you're building that matters. And if it doesn't fit into the aesthetic or your budget, it's okay. Like, it's okay. In the end, as long as your guests were able to connect with you, you were able to be present, and you created a space where they felt like they were loved and welcomed. No one is counting like how many trends I saw on at your ceremony. There was a violinist that was floating, and then there was this. Like, again, let all that go, be inspired by all means. Like, I love a good trend. Like, I'm all about silver and vintage right now, which I'm like, thank God, because I felt like I was like, what era am I in? Did I miss my era? But we're in it now, and I'm obsessed with all the vintage. Like, we're embracing vintage, and if that fits your vibe, absolutely. But find a way to personalize that thing, or it's not just like it's sitting there. It's like, why is it there? And if it doesn't say anything or tell a story, then it's time for it. It's just scratch it. So be inspired by trends, but make it your own.
Do you think people get too, I don't know if it's being caught up, but too pressured maybe to do what's going to be TikTok and Instagrammable?
Yeah, but I'm like, who's pressuring you? That's it's
Right.
like, why
It's your own inner pressure.
why are you pressured? You know, it's your party, it's your day, and it's your decision to live with for the rest of your life, you know? So like people go back, like, why in the world did I even do this? If it's something you're gonna question later and not even enjoy, just take the pressure off.
Yeah.
And also understand like you don't owe anybody anything. This is your day, and it should be planned and executed the way it fits, not the way the world fits. Because if you're trying to make everybody happy, you're going to be working for a very long time because not everybody's happy. So it does. If you're just trying to do this trendy wedding to get a check or likes on TikTok, someone is going to say, "Oh my God, this is so stupid," or like, "What is this?" Then it's like, why did you do that? So make it you, make it your.
Yeah.
And have fun. You know, I think there's just way too much pressure. And like, I love social media, but sometimes I can see how you're like, oh, I want this, but I can't afford it. Like we have that comes like, well, we can afford it. It's not in the budget, but I'm like, but it's not in the budget. So take that pressure off and just circle back to what I said in the beginning, the reason why you're celebrating in the first place. And when we get lost, because we all get lost and carried away.
Yeah. It's easy to.
So easy. And inviting people that don't matter to you. Why? You know, you're spending money on people that you know you clearly don't like. Why?
Mm-hmm.
So let go of all of that. And I think if we can all go back to just intentional, meaningful celebrations, man, I'll be the happiest camper in the world. Because then everything will make sense.
Yeah. The guest list thing, though, I'm glad you said that. And I would love your advice on if someone's feeling pressure from family members or friends to invite people that they don't want to invite, but it becomes that whole obligation thing. How do you help give them the confidence to tell their family member or friend, sorry, not sorry, but this is not going to be a thing? They're not invited.
I always joke, and I'm like, just have him call me. I'm like, give me their number and I can explain. I think just honesty, right? You're not putting up a show for anybody. Just be honest. You know, unfortunately, you know, you can say we've chosen to do this with close friends and family only, or we've decided to do this, and our or the best one is like, oh, our venue is at capacity. Unfortunately, we would love to invite you, but unfortunately, our space cannot take any more than 150. What are you going to do? Like, so
Yeah.
there are ways, and you have to. I feel like you, based on who's asking, you have to tailor very specifically to the answer. But I think again, honesty is always the best, and be very clear that you meant no, not like, oh, let's see, or I'll get back to you. Just give it to them straight. No, just tell them right now, because then they're gonna show up like, oh, you should maybe. I wasn't sure. So like, and then be very clear. If it's an adult only, kid only, plus one, no plus one,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's a whole nother conversation. But typically if you invite someone to a wedding, you have to almost make room for a guest because that's natural, right? Especially destination. That's like my one rule is like you can't invite one person to Paris. Like ideally give them a plus one. And that's like my guide for a couple sometimes. And I understand how the numbers can be tricky, but everything has to be carved out to what's proper and also what proper etiquette, but also like what works for you. And sometimes no is just no. Like otherwise you'd invite everybody and that's not possible.
No, I mean, the most expensive part of your wedding is the guest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like you're spending a lot of money every chair. I'm like, you think about it like, oh, it's per person for food. I'm like, no, no, no. Every invite, every fork, every knife, every napkin, every chair is a person.
Mm-hmm.
Every cocktail, everything, every bite is a person. They're like, oh, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah. So choose your guests wisely, and you should just also do what you can afford.
And that's okay. Your
That is
budget's your
okay.
budget, and you can still have, like you said, a baller party.
Yeah.
I want to get on trends. We're kicking off 2026. We
Yes.
just talked to Megan Ely with the trend report. I want to know from you, like, what do you think feels fresh? Like, what are 26, 27 couples doing? What are you hoping that they do? What's going on for you with trends?
No, I love that. And I'm actually loving the direction. I love that one, we're embracing more and more, which we've been doing for a while, but multi-day celebrations without overstretching, giving people a chance to really experience multiple layers of the couple, different things, especially in beautiful locations where guests who have a 2, 3 day, 4 day, we've had 5 day celebrations. But I'm really loving trends on emphasis on food as an experience, with chef led stations. Everything is an experience, which it should be, right? It's not just like, oh, pick 5 hors d'oeuvres and like, oh, I guess we'll do burgers and whatever. Everything is like intentional and it's an experience for the guests. Tableside elements, I love. I'm loving the idea of scratching the 3 course sit down and making it just fun. Again, I tell my couples all the time, there are no rules. If
Yeah.
you want, like, I've had a wedding where we had, I think, 12, or so it was like a huge number of courses, but everything came out in different ways. Like things were rolled out on carts, and like, so we had to order so many gold bar carts, but it was all about the experience. So you take something like a slice of cake and it becomes this experience. So I love that attention to that. I'm loving, like I said before, the I'm a vintage girl, so like just seeing everything silver vintage coming back and lace, I'm obsessed. And I obviously, like, I would drink, but like I understand how mocktails were not a thing in the past. And now it's not like if someone didn't drink back then, it would be like, oh, we have water or we have juice, right? But now
Yeah.
it's like there's mocktail stations. There's always, I always push for a mocktail in a drink menu that's just as pretty and just as style with the same, or non-alcoholic champagne that's not like, the good old non-alcoholic sparkling wine, like
Yeah.
that, right? We did a wedding in Paris, and I think 4 of her friends were pregnant, and they were like, I would
Oh.
love champagne. I'm like, I've got you. And she was like, are you sure there's no alcohol in here? I'm like, I'm 100% sure. And she was so excited about it. And I was like, let me look at this bottle real quick, because I double checked. But she was just so like, happy and thrilled that there was a decent, non-alcoholic champagne that was, included in that, for the brunch. So we were able to do a mimosa and something fun for her. And she was like, I swear this tastes like the real thing. I'm like, I promise there's no alcohol in it. But guests appreciate those thoughtful dishes. And I also love how cultural inspired dishes are coming back, which I love. I'm Nigerian, so I come from a very different background. I grew up very differently, exposed to different cultures. So like, it's just so fun to see all these global flavors burst in like different elements of the meal or dishes, cocktail hour, after party. I love a good after party. We get to see the vows always. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. It's like, forget everything like that. So I think meaning intention and all the different things. And let me see what else. Music is obviously a big factor now. It's no longer just a DJ or
Right.
a string quartet. It's a grand entrance. It's strolling musicians. I love music in between courses. I love a little sexy number right before dessert or during dessert, or like when you open the doors and there's something happening. So it's become this really beautiful experience of immersive experiences and very thoughtfully placed things. And I love a good surprise and delight. So if any dessert, I'm like, how else can we serve cake other than a slice of cake? And it's like it's paired with something, it's in a beautiful different dish or something like that. So we're having fun with so many things, and we're inspired by a bunch of stuff, and I'm just excited to see that shift into more intentionality than cookie cutter.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned global cuisine. What cultural and global influences are you seeing starting to go from their region and go global.
Yeah, maybe there's a lot of Parisian influences coming in, or usually it's like if my number one rule too is if I do a destination wedding, I want to honor that culture in a welcome party. But we're bringing that in. In there, you're seeing a lot of like Mexican influences and food, Parisian, Spanish, like so many different things. Even African dishes are coming back. Flavors are coming in. There's a fusion of flavors and food from around the world, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I just love it. Like, and your guests feel like they're transported in some way to that beautiful location, but culture is playing a big role in food, music, vibes. It's like, oh, we want to do a Parisian inspired wedding, but like we're in Chicago. And I'm like, okay, we could do that.
We
We're
can do
bringing
it.
Paris to you. So now we have to think about things that we bring in, and food, drink, experiences, mostly music is like amazing. Love that. So many things are happening, which is exciting for us, obviously, as producers.
I'm a foodie, and I think my stomach is growling over the microphone right now. You'll be really excited about all these different cuisines and ideas. I love it. Like, you just have me so excited for planning all the things. Like,
I love tradition. I love culture. And I think even we're also seeing how parents, their history, their culture, their tradition is also tying into the experience. If my mom is from here, and I'm like, oh, great, let's tap into that and honor that in small, big ways. But it's really, really, really exciting to see that even in fashion, you're seeing that as well. This generation is very fashion forward. Everything is a fashion moment. So guests are, dressed like which I love. And I'm like, okay, this is amazing. More pressure for us, but like everything just feels more intentional than how it used to be. Back then it was like, oh, this is tradition and it has to go like this. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, can we have a little
nope.
fun?
What
Yeah.
are couples letting go of? Like we mentioned like what's coming, but what's kind of going out of the way?
I think all those some things are very cringe, those cringe moments. Personally, I don't want to see another garter toss ever.
Me either.
Like,
Bucket.
make it go away. I think anything that feels too stiff,
Yeah.
anything that feels too forced. In the past, traditionally, like who's walking you down the aisle would be the dad. Now it's like, oh no, they're like, oh, my mom raised me, so my mom's gonna walk me, or my stepdad, or something like that. They're like, scratch the tradition. Everyone is choosing how they want to marry, right?
Yeah.
I think timing is changing days. People are getting married during the week. They're getting married on Sunday. The tradition is breaking. But
Yeah.
still honoring the beauty and sanctity of marriage, but also like making it your own. In the end, that's the key. It's like, and also like, obviously that's been gone. Bride went white. I'm like, I haven't seen a white dress in a long time. Grooms traditionally were in black, and now they wear all
Yeah.
kinds of colors. They change as many times as they
I'm
want.
so happy to see grooms getting
Yeah,
their tux time because,
yeah.
the same penguin
Oh,
suit
yes,
looks
yes.
dapper when done right, but kind of also got old. Now seeing like these emerald greens and these jewel tones or these funky vibes, like it's hip.
I love it. I'm like, let's go. Bring some personality and some color. I love. Even with the flower girls, it's like wedding parties being ditched. Some people we either see like a huge wedding party or just like one maid of honor, one best man, or none at all.
Yeah, are you seeing more of that? Like just the girls have their girls getting ready with them, but like not doing the whole bridesmaid thing?
Well, we were going into this phase of the wedding party, and then it kind of picked back up again. I'm like, okay, but it's a mix. I think it depends on like the couple and like what they want to do and how they want to navigate the day. But also like no pressure. You can still have your
Yeah.
girls get ready with you, which I see, and they have champagne, they have breakfast, and they're like, okay, have a great day. And then they're like, they don't have to stand there and like do the thing and then walk down the aisle. That's been going away. And I just think how people get married, vows are changing, the stiffness of it all is like, they want to have fun. They want a very relaxed,
Yeah.
intentional space, but like fun. They want to party though. Like they do want to party, but in a fun way.
As you should. You're celebrating.
Yeah. In the past, like you see these weddings, it was the same thing. There was zero storytelling. It was like, oh, you arrive, you walk down an aisle, you do your first dance. And there was an order to things. But now it's like I can open up the doors and we go right into a dance set, which I love.
Yeah.
Or you cut your cake later, or there's no cake. I've had a ton with no cake at all. And I'm like, oh, yes. Like if you don't want a cake, scratch it. And we just do
Yeah.
crazy desserts, right? No rules. And it's like, no one died. You didn't have cake. All good. There's plenty of sweets.
And if your aunt doesn't like it, she can go get to a bakery the next day and get all the cake she
Dare
wants.
you not have her cake? You have to have a cake. I'm like, no, she doesn't.
No, you don't.
No, he doesn't. So yeah, it's whatever they want. I think that, but there's some, the bouquet toss is slowly leaving too. But I think anything cringe, I don't want it personally.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to watch.
So I literally could go on and on with you all day, but I know I have to start wrapping things up here. So we're going to go to the fuck it bucket.
Oh,
Akeshi, what is in your wedding fuck it bucket?
Garter toss, gone. I never want to see it again. It's not even the toss. The toss I can live with. It's the removal. It's like...
Yeah, it's so gross.
I'm like, what am I seeing? And then when it's too long, I'm like, oh my God. I think also the overly long speech, like the 85 people giving a speech. No, I was like 2 to 3, make it short and sweet. Anything matchy. We don't need to do all of that, but definitely garter removal. I think also like just conflicting wedding expectations. Or am I like, I'm like, I don't even know what we want at this point. Like you have this planner face like, huh? And my team were like, fix your face. I'm like, I don't really understand what that means. But I think I don't have a ton. I really don't. What else?
Because you don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but at the same time, like there are things that are just like...
I didn't know if I want to do that. But if you insist, I don't know how I feel about horse and carriage.
Oh, yeah. Are people still trying to do that? Is that still like the whole, like, I'm a princess?
No offense, but I don't get it. I actually don't get it. But that's a separate thing. But hey, if it's pretty, I'm here for it. I'll put some flowers around it. But
There has to be a logistical nightmare.
I've never done one. I still love pets at a wedding, so I wouldn't say no to that. I think they're adorable, but like we need a sitter for the pet. But I just think like having your pet, it's so cute. It's the cutest thing. The little tuxedo and the bow tie, I live for that.
What about kids at weddings?
Kids walking down the aisle of my jam. I love it. I actually just posted a recent picture. Like I had to carry the flower girl because she would not walk. She was like... There were 2 of them, and one of them was like, "You've got this. We can do this." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And they wanted like this cute little flower crown, so we made them. So I actually just picked up. I was like, "We gotta go." So I picked her up, and I was like, walked her down the aisle, and I was going through the gallery, and there's a picture of me like walking her down, and she's like here, like just crying. I was like, "Oh!" And mom was like, "Thank you for taking such good care of my baby." And I'm like, "Okay, they're cute. You guys can stay."
Yeah.
But they're running around at the wedding reception. No.
The kid thing, yeah, like I think they're so adorable. The reception
So
I
cute.
kind of hit or miss with. Like when I got married to my ex, like the only kids there were the ones that were in the wedding.
Mhm.
That I had a no kid policy, and people still tried to push it, and I was like, no. Firm no.
Yeah.
And then I sticked my mom on them because I knew she would like really, lay down the law.
But I can understand, like, if you have a nephew, like I love my little munchkins, right? So, like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, right? And other kids, my friends' kids, like if I were getting married today, they would be at the wedding, but they would be in a contained situation where it's like maybe after there is cocktail hours, someone takes them home, or there's a dedicated room for them. So I'm not like, oh, no kids, because it's like, oh, I want to see my little ones, and I walk down. Or
well, and I don't know about you, but like when I was little, I went to so many weddings growing up.
oh, I was a flower girl every time.
Right. I tell people that was the start of my wedding career. I was a flower girl when I was 3.
I was always knocked out though, like after church, because it was always church, and then it was so long, and I would be asleep. I was like, oh my God. And I would be in a car asleep. I was always in the back of the car. I remember that much. I remembered my puffy dress, and it was itchy, and I always do like pull things out, but I was always assigned flower girl for whatever reason. But I think they're adorable. And I think, again, if it's a part of your life and your story, you should include them, but with proper planning.
But if you don't want kids there,
that's okay.
You are totally fine. Let the adults have their adult night, especially if you know if it's a certain kind of venue or vibe that would not be the most kid friendly, then definitely don't.
You don't need an explanation. If you want no kids, you want no kids.
Why do you think people feel like they deserve an explanation for their kid not being invited or they're plus one or like whatever?
I have no clue, but I just feel like, again, honesty is always the best. Like, we don't want kids. We've chosen to go with an adult only celebration, and we hope you can respect that. And I think that's enough.
And like you said, if you do have kids, proper planning.
Proper planning. Yeah. We always have a sitter. We have things, they're going to be knocked out by 8 o'clock for sure, or hype on sugar. So it's one of the two.
Because they will eat the cake.
They are going to eat the cake or whatever you had at cocktail hour. So it's just, again, proper planning. And if they're ready to go, who's going to take them home and you want to party? So, like, it's the logistics of it. It's not like kids are bad. I think kids are adorable. And if you want them at your wedding, fine. If you do not, that's also fine too.
All right. Final question. What is your all-time favorite celebrity or royal wedding?
Oh my gosh, Megan, 100%. I was up. We literally booked a hotel room with another planner friend of mine. It was a bunch of us. And we did a watch party at the Langham Hotel.
Fun.
And we stayed up for that beautiful wedding. I love her and like Prince Harry and Meghan.
The wedding.
Yes.
I loved her reception dress, the Stella McCartney halter.
It was just stunning. Just gorgeous. And I love that they did it. I don't know much. I'm not that she told me this, but like I feel like they did it their way, even with the restrictions and the traditions. But it was really beautiful to see that sprinkle of like their vibe in there.
And that goes back to your full circle with authenticity, like making sure you sprinkle in you, even if you have certain things that you have to, because, you know, culturally, you might have certain parameters. There might be certain traditions that you have to adhere, you know, but if you find a way to still make it you, twist it.
Yeah, 100%. Anywhere you can sprinkle a little bit of personality and a little bit of your, because that's why people are there. It's to celebrate you. So tell me more, tell us more. And how can we, you know, infuse those in all the different experiences? I think that's key, while keeping the guest experience in mind too.
You have to do both, right? It's a balance.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Akeshi, I could seriously talk to you all day. This has been so much fun. You are such a joy. And
thank you.
I hope you can come back again in the future, the near future.
I would love to.
How can we get more information on you and your brand new book?
So the Art of Celebrating is available at all major retailers, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles online, and on our website as well. And you can find me at Cash Events. On all the platforms. Instagram is where I hang out, and on our website, anywhere. So you could find us there.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
Up next, we're with Marsha-Ann Donaldson, who is the Director of Weddings and Romance at Sandals Resorts, the sponsor of this podcast. By the way, I think that is the coolest title I have ever heard. Director of Romance. I love it so much. Because obviously I love love.
With that flair.
Yes.
You can feel the love when you say it, right?
You can. Marsha-Ann, tell us about the 17 incredible properties that Sandals Resorts have. And I really wish I was in Jamaica with you at one of them right now.
Oh, thanks so much for asking. And wonderful that your listeners are going to be hearing all things that relate to Sandals. So we started back in 1981 with Sandals Montego Bay in Jamaica as our very, very first resort. I'm actually speaking to you from the beautiful island of Jamaica. If I glance to the right and ask your imagination to glance with me, I'm looking at the azure blue waters. I'm looking at really blue skies. And I'm looking at incredible flora and fauna that is really the view for today. And other than that, we really are saying that the Caribbean is where we believe that we have mastered the art of hospitality. And so not only are we in Jamaica, as you know, we enjoy going to the Northern Caribbean. So we're in the Bahamas, we're in Turks and Caicos Islands, we're in Curacao, the Eastern Caribbean, where you can really explore additional lush greenery and the incredible adventure that the Eastern Caribbean gets to enjoy. So you have Antigua, where you have 365 beaches as it advertises.
Oh my gosh.
One for every day of the year, right?
Right.
You have St. Lucia, that's known for its pitons, that has been featured so many times and an incredibly magical spot. We're in Barbados, Grenada, Curacao. I don't know what I have left off, but St. Vincent.
St. Vincent, yeah.
In the crown, St. Vincent. So we really are extremely proud of being able to say, we know we have a resort for everyone. We're confident that it is so important to be able to assess the personality type of the person who is choosing a Sandals, and that there is a resort that's there for everyone. And then we have our beaches brand, which is for everyone, singles, couples, and families too, within Turks and Caicos as well as in Jamaica. So we've got something for everyone.
Yeah, Sandals is really geared more towards the all adult, all inclusive. So let's talk about that. What really sets Sandals Resorts from all the other all-inclusives out there?
So I believe what's very important is, one, our key differentiator being Sandals for adults only, because there comes a time where you want to be in a space where everyone that's there 18 and over, and that's what they're there to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's relax and enjoy, whether it is to just embrace the incredible selection of cuisines. We specialize in a la carte dining experiences with a multiplicity of options for dining options. But what sets us apart is that we really are about the Caribbean. And the Caribbean for us, made of Caribbean, really is translated with our food, with our entertainment, with the incredible amount of options for excursions. Because I would say to you, why do you travel? One of the reasons why folks travel is that they want to have cultural immersion. They want to do things that they wouldn't normally do at home. And one of the greatest things that we encourage all the time is, do not just think about your experience on the resort. What can you do in that destination? Are you there for fun and adventure? Are you there to shop? Are you there for a cultural richness that could be incorporated with artisans that are going to show you their wares? So we are big about ensuring that all our guests experience not just the resort and all that we have to offer, from land sports to water sports activities, to food, to all of the experiences that will be memorable for a lifetime. But what does the destination have to offer? And each person ought to experience that.
I love that you touched upon this, because there is such a different personality for each person when it comes to travel. There are some people that do just want to go to the beach. Let me just plop down the sand with my, my pina colada and just check out, right? And just breathe the salty air. And that's all they want to do.
Yes.
And then another person's like, I want to go snorkel and go diving and, do all these adventurous things, right? And then there's maybe someone is in between. You brought up getting to go maybe off the resort and see more of the culture of the place that they're visiting. And so I love that with Sandals, you do have an opportunity to tap in. Maybe you have a few of those different personalities, just depends on the day, right? And you can tap into that in any of those resorts you choose, right?
Yes, absolutely. But here's the other dynamic. Because it's adults only, and you have two folks that are traveling together, you have the dynamics of the person who is very adventurous, wants to do everything. Oh, that scuba excursion is not missing me. That water sports is not missing me. And then the other person is, yes, let me just occupy this chaise lounge. Let me grab my book. Let me look for that palm tree and let me have my cocktail in hand. And so the beauty is that you're able to balance that for both of them to enjoy. And that becomes our winning combination, which I believe strongly it speaks so much to why we have such a high returning guest ratio.
Yeah.
Because you're able to satisfy the palate. There is no cookie cutter experience when you're booking an actual Sandals.
I love that you said reoccurring, because, when talking about this, obviously we're going to be discussing and encouraging destination weddings, honeymoons, but you can also make it your vacation. You can make it your not just your honeymoon, but maybe your baby moon, or maybe just like your 1-year anniversary or whatever. Like, there's so many opportunities. And like we said, there's 17 resorts to choose from that you can, try all of them throughout the years.
Absolutely. We believe that one of the biggest pluses that we are finding, and one of the greatest trends, not only are folks selecting us for their destination wedding experience, but they're bringing friends and family with them. And friends and family are using it as their mini vacation experience. And so, to your point, when you think of a wedding, you're having a wedding at Sandals, but then you float right into having your honeymoon. The other thing, Leah, that's so dynamic about us, you can also think of a wedding. You think of Jamaica as a destination. You can stay and get married at one resort, and the day after your wedding, you can go and honeymoon at another resort, which
Oh,
is also a Sandals. So we flavor the pot well. We just really love folks to come to us with their ideas, their dreams, and then we will unfold it so that they can truly have the most fulfilling experience.
so let's talk destination weddings because, I mean, they're hot right now, obviously. Like more and more people are choosing to do a destination wedding. I do know someone that got married years ago in Jamaica and they love the experience. They love the culture and everything. And I think you have so many different things that you offer that I'd love for you to tell us about. I know there's a wedding on us package that's really huge and different ways you can get married. It's not just on the beach, right?
Oh, absolutely. So again, what is important is when you think of your wedding offerings, oftentimes when one says, oh, I'm going to have a destination wedding, there's a word that comes up and it starts with S and ends with S and it's stress. People think, oh my gosh, the stress of planning this is really going to be exhausting. Am I capable of getting this destination wedding done? And that's one thing that we want to say. We are the stress busters. Give it to us for us to be able to handle for you. And the way we do that is that every single couple that has elected to work with us for their destination wedding, we consider it such an honor. And so we have teamed ourselves to have an entire wedding entourage. And that entourage is going to take you through the process of selecting the right resort, right?
Yeah.
We know that date and time is often a very sentimental value. So they will select their date and time that they wish to be wed. And we then go into how do we personalize the wedding planning experience? What are the things that you've dreamt about? You think of the Caribbean. Is it the entertainment that you want to infuse your culture? Do you want it to be rhythmic with the sound, the beating bands of the steel pan? Do you want it reggae if you're in Jamaica? Do you want a John Cooner band, which is culturally associated with the Bahamas? So we talk about all the offerings that could be so synonymous with your own palette and be as unique as the love that they're sharing for their day. And we therefore now say, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so Weddings on Us is saying, go ahead, book your trip, spend 7 nights, and let's take care of having this wedding on us. And that's above and beyond that. Now we talk about packages that folks can also purchase. Nothing is in a box. Nothing is cookie cutter, but we have put together frameworks. I would best describe them as frameworks to give a guide to everyone who is looking to make a decision. And then you customize it from there, because at the end of the day, Leah, one is going to say, here is what I've always dreamed of. There is something about yellow roses or beautiful orchids or a fantastic tropical ginger lily that has my name on it. How can I express that through my tablescape? What design options? So we have created a whole selection of inspirations that are synonymous with the respective destinations as well. So do you want to feel that island flavor? And if you do, here is something that's just for you.
I'm glad you're pointing out that it's not just a cookie cutter thing, because I think that is a misconception that when someone goes to the site and they see these beautiful different inspirations that you have to get that look, that package, when really it is just a framework to give you inspiration that you could have this look or something from it might inspire you to add to what you want to do.
Correct. And we oftentimes will say, look at that just as a guide, but tell us what your mood board would look like. Oh. Paint the picture for us. So we invite the mood boards, because one of the things to also be mindful of is that sometimes the expression on the mood board may be something that's available stateside and not necessarily available within the islands that you're choosing. What is the happy medium? We're in the business of happy medium. because some of the floral types might not necessarily be available in a particular destination, but what's the next best available option that is suited for them? So we want to work with every aspect. We want it to be that every wedding tells a true story. And we don't just focus on the wedding ceremony. We don't just focus on the wedding day and the cocktail party and the dinner. Now, the biggest trend are the multi-day wedding experiences where
Yes.
folks are coming in, they're bringing their friends and family, they want to do something the day before, they want to go off on an excursion, they want the friends and family to meet up. The wedding day is the crescendo, but above and beyond that, like any particular symphony, we want to lead up to it.
Oh, I love it.
It's really important that we give the options and not to downsize their thinking that because it's the islands, I have to peel back on my palate. On the contrary, we'll just add more spice, add a little bit more dimension, a lot more rhythm, and a ton of love.
I love it. What's the most common feedback that you get from couples after they've had their experience with their wedding or honeymoon?
One of the most common feedbacks that we get is that they can't believe that we made their dream an actual reality. Another great feedback that we get is how much we took the stress away from them. And so it really meant when we said, you show up and allow us to do the work. And one of the very candid feedbacks that we tend to get, in particular for our larger destinations, that has a cadre of options for external suppliers, that they can't believe we're able to produce this. You know, this was on my mood board. I can't believe you did this in Jamaica. Oh my gosh, this was on my mood board. I can't believe you did this in the Bahamas. You know, there's specific destination that really has a lot more when it comes on to varied external suppliers, whether it's decor, design, entertainment, and they are blown away of our ability to produce. So they've identified that even although they thought that, oh my gosh, it's a little island, can they really? When we blow it out of the water and we do, they're like, oh my gosh, it's a little island that has big possibilities, you know?
I love it. And to your point, you had mentioned how much the team works with the couple. This is working well in advance. Like, they will help you through the entire process from beginning to end, and that way you can be stress-free with your family and friends.
On average, we're seeing that folks are booking their weddings between 9, 12, 18 months out.
Yeah.
Those who are locked in and they're like, oh, we're going to plan this. We're going to plan. I mean, listen, you also have those who are 90 days out and they've just discovered, oh my gosh, I think I'm in love. Let's do this. So we're here for that, right? And one of the very key points that we do that a lot of folks are not necessarily aware of is that all weddings are recognized internationally. They are legal weddings that we're conducting, but we deal with the administrative paperwork as well. So the fees that are in relation to administration and documentation fees, once that's handled, we take over and deal with all of that. So everyone that comes, they have their respective license. We're ready to do. We provide the officiant. We're saying just bring your love and allow us to do the rest.
See, that's actually going to be like my next question was as far as all the legalities, because people from all over the world are listening to the show. And what do you need in order to attend one of these destinations, right? What are the legalities involved? I'm glad you said marriage is legal for all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the other thing is that, remember, there are folks, so that takes care of our legal wedding. Remember, too, that there are folks who have not had their dream wedding. They got married. They got married in a courthouse, or they really just needed to deal with their documentation. And now it's time to dream a new dream. What does that look like? For some folks, it could be their first anniversary, their 10th anniversary, their 5th, their 15th, and they want to be able to translate that dream at this time. Those are some of the things. So we call that a renewal of vow. And that retie the knot. You're retying the knot to the one you love. But now it's going to have the island flavor. It's going to have the decor and the design. So we oftentimes say, don't limit yourself to thinking, oh my gosh. Sometimes folks will go, oh, I wish I had my dream wedding. Well, you can. And that's what we're here for.
I love it. Marsha-Ann, you've just given us so much to dream about and start planning right now. And I just want to thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to many more discussions with you coming up. And thank Sandals Resorts for being a sponsor of this podcast. It's an honor to be a part of the family.
Oh, it's an honor for us to actually connect with you this way. And most importantly, we believe in love, and we're saying, bring everybody over so that we can take care of them on the beautiful islands that we occupy. Thanks for your time.
Marsha-Ann, how else can we get more information on Sandals Resorts and beaches?
Oh, well, as always, we like to encourage you to check www.sandals.com, and the same is true, www.beaches.com.